There was a time I was told by more than just one psychologist, also by some therapists, okay, that I should play a couples game with my ex-wife. And so I told her I really wanted to do this simple game. Now, it was always very difficult to get her to do anything with me at all. Anything. She was a very anti-quality time person, especially when she learned that quality time and touch was my love language. Out of the question. They will use your love language against you, by the way, so don't do that. They will act like they really want to find out what your love language is and blah blah blah. But for this type of narcissist, like a covert narcissist, they're just trying to find more ways to control you. And if they could actually go through a whole system that will point out exactly what you like, now they know what to withhold from you. And that happened immediately after we did the love language test. So, we played this couples game, and it had the questions on there as far as very basic things, favorite color, one like some type of memory, stuff like that. And I ask her the question, and she gets it right immediately, right away. She asks me the question, right? Or at least it's my turn to answer the question. And I don't know. And this happened again and again. At the end, with dozens of questions, she had gotten all of them correct. And I got something like one or like a part of one. And I was disturbed. I was visibly disturbed. And she was so proud of herself. And she's going on, see, I'm the better listener, blah 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 blah. I remember each time she would get a question right, which was all of them. She'd say, I remember it because you always say this, you always say that, you blah blah blah. And I looked at her and I said, you lost. She's like, huh? I said, you lost. The point of the game is to see who knows more about the other. Because if you know more about the other, it means that they do a good job in communicating those things to you. Now, I just remembered right now while saying that we used to always correct each other on communication. And whenever I tell her, look, through my whole life, I've been complimented on my communication skills, on the clarity. You're the only person I have this problem with. That's funny because I was going to say that about you. I've always had, she would do that whole thing. It's just like, oh, okay, 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 okay. You know? So, anyways, I told her. Because after I told her that, she started having to go off on, she stopped, she looked around for a moment, like, how could I flip this around? And then looked at me and goes, like that, like she got an idea. I told you you never listened to me, and my feelings matter, and da, 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 da. She's just going off. I remember her throwing the word salad at me and the fake emotion. And I was just looking at her, and I was thinking, this is a real problem. This is a real problem. It was actually, I remember actually touching my lips then too. Like I was making the same expression now. I remember just watching her. I think it was just expressionless, watching her just going off with a fake emotion, thinking there's just nothing. There's nothing I can do with this person. There's no way to talk back and forth. There's no communicating. There's no conversation. If this is real, this is always going to be this way. And during this point of realization and her doing this instead of apologizing, or instead of her saying, wow, my husband doesn't know me, I should work on that. Instead of saying, this is a problem. Instead of that realization, she's like, ha ha ha, use this against you. Ha ha ha, you. Ha ha ha, your fault, this and that. After after just playing a game that proved something else, you know. But when I looked at her reaction, I thought, okay, a healthy minded person, such as myself and probably you, would look at that and say, my partner doesn't know me. My partner should know me. I've been with my partner for 6 years, you know. And just so you know, I remember some of those questions of me saying, I don't know this because I've tried to learn about her and I've asked these questions and she refuses to answer. But anyway, back to what I was saying is a healthy person would say, my partner after so many years should know me. Unhealthy person would just dismiss it. They would not care about not knowing anything about their partner, or about their partner not knowing anything about them. They wouldn't care. In their world, their partner, their spouse, not knowing anything about them is not even anything on their mind. A toxic person will say, I lost, don't know anything because it's your fault. It's your fault. It's because I don't feel comfortable talking to you because you always do this. It's because you don't listen to me. It's because I've tried and maybe this and maybe that, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's the trauma from this and I need more healing and it's your fault that I haven't been healed. Anything. But yeah, again, it was one of those times, and you know how this is, where there's realization after realization that hits you as far as each one confirming time and time again, I can't have a relationship with this person because it's not possible for them to be in one, you know, and that was one of those times.